Let's talk about movie reviews. Okay, you guys, I have to be completely honest with you. I'm really scared about Christmas this year. Most of the reason is because there's so much content. There's so many movies that are releasing on December 25th. Like, more than usual. It's actually scary. It's really scary. I don't think I've ever been this scared to do YouTube reviews because there's so much coming out and I don't know what to review first and how to like generate all that content. It's a lot. I'm super excited though, but like at the same time, I don't know what to do. So hear me out, help me out with this a little bit. I let you guys know about this on social media. Patreon. What do you think of it? Should I do it? What I'm thinking for my Patreon account is it's going to be trailer reactions because I don't do trailer reactions all that often on this channel because of YouTube copyright laws. So on Patreon, I can do them a little bit more regularly. So if I would have trailer reactions, I would have more movie reviews and some more fun behind the scenes content that you guys like on my social media. But I need to know that you guys are interested, so let me know in the comments down below what you think about me getting a Patreon would do for you. Anyways, let's get into this movie review. I don't think I've ever seen this much glitter in a movie, ever. There's so much glitter and sequins and sparkles, and it was a lot. If you haven't read the title of this video and just watched it, thank you, by the way, but also at the same time, the movie that I'm reviewing is the movie Prom that just released on Netflix today. It's actually a musical, it's a movie adaptation of a musical that's been on Broadway and that kind of thing. So it's not original, but it's original to the movie environment. What happens in this movie is that this girl from Indiana comes out as a lesbian and she wants to go to prom. But the PTA doesn't agree with that because they're from a smaller town in Indiana, and so they just cancel prom altogether. These Broadway actors hear about this girl's story and they need some good publicity for themselves because they've been a little bit down in the dumps in terms of PR. And so they travel to Indiana to help this girl basically have her own prom. And that's the gist of the story. So let me tell you a little bit about my thoughts of the movie before I go into the actual review of it. I think that this movie was very lively. I really like the energy that came from this movie. These people looked like they had a lot of fun filming it. I actually, it's a really funny story tangent, but one of the younger actors who's in this, I know his brother, and so that was kind of interesting and cool to see his little brother on the big screen like that. It was really nice. So good for him. I didn't expect Meryl Streep to be in this and to be singing the kind of things that she was. She actually reminded me a lot of the character from Schitt's Creek, who is Moira Rose, who was played by the woman who was the original Delia on Beetlejuice from the 1980s. It was super. Anyways, those two characters are very similar and remind me of each other a lot. But I really like the energy and how Meryl Streep was in this. I think it was a little bit different, but still within her range of what she does as an actress. I thought it was really fun and very cool. I don't know how much I like this movie in general. I think it was really good and very well done, but I don't know about all the different storylines that they were trying to connect and cover within just a 2-hour movie. I've never seen the musical, I've never listened to the musical, but I'm pretty sure they probably have a little bit more time to cover each individual topic as they go along, more than they do in the movie. I'm not completely sure because I've never seen the actual source material of this movie, but it looked like they were trying to cover a lot in just a little amount of time. That's what I've been noticing happening in movies in general, is that there's just a lot to cover and only this much time, and so they don't actually get the attention that it deserves. So let's talk about the actual movie and the movie review of this portion of the video. I do think that this movie is good. I thought it was a decent movie to watch. It was very fun. Like I said, it was very lively. The energy surrounding this movie, they just looked like they had a lot of fun doing this. Like, there was no strings attached when they were filming, like, and it was just a fun time for everybody. But I also understand that they do need to film a movie, and a movie is a movie. So I think the colors and the costume design was actually really down to earth. I didn't think it was super extravagant like normal Netflix originals are, but I didn't think it was like too unrealistic in terms of the fashion sense. The colors and the style actually reminded me a lot of La La Land. I don't know if that was intentional. I could be totally wrong by saying that, but it's just a thing, you know? Despite what I said about the sparkles and the sequins and the glitter, I did enjoy the overall colors that were brought into this movie. I think that it was a very fun and lively musical look that really brought and set the mood of the entire movie. Now, talking about mood and tone. The tone of this movie was a little bit light for what the issues were that they were addressing. Again, I think they were concentrating too much on too many different stories and not focusing on just one and developing that as much as they could, while also having the other side stories run in the background just at a more manageable level. So there's one way to do, whereas the drama way, where it's like everything is dramatized, every decision is so important, so monumental. And then there's the other side of the spectrum, which is where this was at. It's a little bit in the middle, but it's more on the spectrum of it's really not a big deal what happens either way, because everything's gonna be fine in the end. We all know this. It's okay. It's fine. So let's just have fun and sing and dance while we do this movie. I'm not criticizing this movie and its ideals and its beliefs, but at the same time, I don't think that the tone of this movie was really proper for what the subject matter at hand was. I think they rushed past a couple of things way too fast, and I don't want to get into any of them because of spoilers, but it's okay. Yeah. I think that this movie did address some things that people want to be addressed, but I just don't think it was addressed in the right way. It was a really fun movie, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed watching it. It was just the storyline I didn't really appreciate. I don't know. It was more of a performance rather than a story, which is kind of bringing it back to the musical and the live stage version of this, where, you know, everything is a performance and you're performing in front of people. You're also presenting a story. Whereas in movies, it is a performance, but it's more for the story than the performance itself. And so if the story's good, then the performances will shine throughout the story. Whereas in live stage and musicals, a lot of the time it's more of the performance than the actual story. I'm not saying that Broadway and stage and theater are not good. It's just that it's different media. You're more impressed by the performances that are done live in front of you than if they're done on film that you know has been done a couple of times and they've redone the tape a couple of times and they've done separate takes of each individual shot several times. That's kind of the dichotomy between film and any other medium like books or TV or musicals or stage productions. It's just a little bit of a different mindset and a different platform to view yourself on. That being said, I do think the performances were pretty good. I felt they were very good. I think Meryl Streep and Nicole Kidman did fantastic in this, actually. Nicole Kidman really surprised me, and her performance was actually probably my favorite in the entire movie. James Corden, on the other hand, I love the guy. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a very talented comedian and actor and talk show host, but this role specifically, as he was playing an American, I can tell he was having a really rough time doing the American accent. Throughout the entire movie, I could hear the British just kind of like crawling out, like just little by little, just peeking out just a little bit, like, hello, this is not how your voice sounds normally. I think Keegan-Michael Key actually does a very good job in this as well, even though he's a supporting character. I really wanted to see more of him, but at the same time I knew it wasn't gonna happen because he's not really one of the main characters, one of the main stars. But on a separate note, I think the choreography was done actually very, very well, and actually the directing style of this movie is not bad at all. A lot of times what happens when musicals are adapted into movies is that they're trying to just recreate what happens on stage, but in reality you can't really do that in a movie setting. So what I was seeing in the movie was the different camera angles, and they were using elements that happens in movies, that only happens in movies, that you can't do on stage. You can't do multiple locations flashing back from two different locations as well as you can do it in movies. So that kind of thing where it's the opening number where these two Broadway stars, Meryl Streep and James Corden, are just traveling through from the stage that they were performing on before to the street to a restaurant to a bar, and you know, those kinds of transitions and the fluidity of the setting can't happen on stage, but I think it worked really well on screen and seeing it on streaming. It was really cool to see it on VOD. I do think that this movie was really well directed. I don't doubt that for a second. The negative comments that I do have for this movie is that there is a lot of things that are kind of just swept under the rug. Okay, needless to say, I will say that I would probably watch this movie again just for the enjoyment of it. I did have fun watching it. Again, it's a very lively, very energetic movie, and I do think that I probably will watch it again, but just not right now. So let me know what you guys think of the Patreon. Also, subscribe to my channel and ring that bell for the notifications so that you are one of the first people to know when I upload a new video. If you like this video and like my reviews, and I will do so many more of them. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great random Thursday, and I'll see you on the other side of the screen.